anime un groupe qui s'appelle Savon Tranchant, qui participait. Savon Tranchant, c'était un duo qui s'est terminé il y a 2 ans maintenant, donc là, ce que je vous avais envoyé sous clé discrète. Voilà, donc alors moi j'avais choisi le morceau Tu es tombé à l'arbre des sorties du monde, et c'était compté sans Antoine Guillot qui nous a proposé un peu genre. Lyon, donc, qui s'appelle Musée Spectre, où vous êtes allé découvrir un musée le plus personnel. Vous avez obtenu ce personnage. Ah oui, c'est un homme, on ne pas encore qui est totalement heureuse dans son être, et ce livre raconte aussi.
Hello YouTube, today I have this power amplifier, which is a Sony brand pulse power supply legato linear, which is coming from a good bargain from a flea market, and actually it works. It doesn't need a repair, but actually it has some issue from the light coming from the billboard here, and I did a repair. I already did a repair, but the light used to make the muting glow up is not a good condition. I need to repair it again just to change this bulb here. This is a very old amplifier, very old style, and lots of people are loving this kind of amplifier because first, it has a very nice sound, because as you know, a old amplifier like that has a very nice sound. And I want to take advantage to see what there is inside and try to see if there is some improvement to do with it. So the main part in this video is to change the light from the billboard. It's not very important, and unfortunately I have nothing to teach you here. If I can teach something to someone, you just see what there is inside and try to understand if the pulse power supply means actually if there is pulsing power supply, and it means there is and that's mean there is switching power supply on it, but it doesn't affect the sound quality, I think. So let's demount it and see what there is inside. Actually, you can see it's very dusty because I think this is the first time someone opened this amplifier, and I think I'm really the first people who's opened this amplifier. As you can see, it has a very rare system of dissipating. The heatsink is very original. We can find this kind of system mainly on computers. There is a copper tube with the fins, and there is a special liquid which evaporate with the heat and make the good transfer of the heat to the tube, to the fins, and it's work like this. Actually, I don't know if it has a better efficiency compared to another kind of heatsink, but anyway, as you can see here, this is the shield for the power supply, which is actually a pulse power supply. They call it like that. In fact, this is just switching power supply, and the shield is very thick actually, and it's provide 45 symmetrical power supply, which means in fact there is 90 volt here on the capacitors, and I will show you. So it's very dusty, and I think this is a good sign, because if it was not so dusty, it means then there is some people open the amplifier before, and it's a very good sign, because if there is any issue, you have not to repair the last issue coming from the last owner, and this is a very good thing. Despite of it, this amplifier has a very nice sound, despite this shielded power supply, which is a switching power supply, which provides 45 volts symmetrical for the total of 90 volts. Also, the very nice thing is you can see here a relay and another relay. The first relay is used here to charge the capacitor for a very smooth slope of charging, to give a good charge without disrupt anything. And the other relay here is here to connect the speakers for after a while, to not to give the blop. When you switch the amplifier, you have not the blop in the speakers, which is not so good thing. And so what I can tell here, it's a pretty sophisticated amplifier with a very nice design of heatsink. I very love this design because it's rare, and maybe if it has much efficiency, it gives some light and prevent heavy weight of the amplifier, which actually this power supply helps to have a very light amplifier. This is the good things with the switching power supply, but lots of people don't like this because it emits some noise. But actually, it's a very nice filtering on it, because you listen absolutely nothing on the speakers. So you have here the selector, which is able to select your cartridge coming from your disc reader, and here you have MM and MC. Actually, that means you can choose mobile magnet or mobile coil, something like that. It's not what I was expecting from that, because I thought there is a main difference between the piezoelectric cartridge and the electromagnetic cartridge. In this case, it's just for to choose between the mobile magnet and the mobile coil. So you can see here a nice thing to see here. There is a power supply here, which is regulated by this transistor actually, and you can see also a Zener diode. This Zener diode is working with this transistor to provide constant current. Actually, this the light on the billboard are supplied with a constant current. That means if you add another bulb, or if you make another system of lighting, it can adapt itself. I think they choose this system to power the lighting with a constant current to prevent the wear of the light, and to have the same lights throughout the years. I think this is for this occasion they did that. So despite the hold of this unit, you can see the capacitor seems to be very nice. They has no sign of bulge, and I tried yet this amplifier. It doesn't show any sign of hardness, and as you can see, all of this capacitor seems to be good. okay, this is not a real sign to see if they are good or not, because you know, you need to dismount them and to check with an eraser. Maybe you don't have to dismount them, but actually if you want to have a good sign, a good idea about this capacitor, you need to dismount them to see if they have always the good rating. So what I can tell about this amplifier, again, this is pretty much all, I think. Here you can see this bridge diodes and this capacitor, which connected actually to the main, is the filtered part. This part is filtering the voltage and the current before to send it to the switch power supply, because I think the power supply has not his own bridge rectifier and the capacitor filter. All this primary stage are external to the switch power supply. So as you can see, it's very dusty, but I'm not going to touch this because I'm afraid about some components which are here, which seems to be dodgy actually, because if you look this here, if you look this potentiometer, which is maybe for to change the offset or the bias, something like that, potentiometer on the PCB are made for to change the offset or the bias current, and you can see it's in not so good shape actually, and it's a good idea to not to touch this one. You have another one here. You can see the shape of this one. Maybe it will be a good idea to not to touch this. And of course, the bias is one thing, and the offset is another thing. To control the offset, you need a multimeter and connect it to the speaker output here, and you will find a voltage near from 0. Actually, if you can feel some heat coming from your heatsink when your amplifier is on standby, that means maybe there is bias current which is more than enough, and it can be useful to change it, but unfortunately I have not so much information about that, and I know there is some inscription on the PCB, but I don't want to touch this because I think if I touch this potentiometer, maybe it will break, and actually it's not possible to read it because you need a schematic for that, I think. Okay, this amplifier is working. I don't want to put any trouble on it actually. So the main thing about this is a very nice amplifier. The band of this amplifier is something like 40 kilohertz, something like that. You can feel lots of treble coming from the speakers when connected on it, and so what I'm going to do here is to change again this the light of this matching indicator here, and it will be all for this amplifier, because I don't want to make any trouble if it's working. I think it's a very nice thing to keep it like this. It will be futile to try to make. I think capacitor seems to be good because I already made some tests with it, and the sound is very good, and it's a powerful amplifier because it's able to provide a very high voltage on output due to the power supply, which provides 45 volt symmetrical, which means you have 90 volt or total, which is very high voltage. Actually, it's very dangerous to put your finger on it. So here you will have some this resistor here with this fuse is helping the capacitor to charge softly and to not to absorb a lot of current, making the fuse blue, like you can see on some of my tinkering. I use sometimes this process to charge slowly the capacitors, and this is what you can see here with this relay. This is a very nice thing to find this kind of stuff in an amplifier like this, and it gives you the idea about the quality they made in the past to make a very nice device like this. This is an amplifier coming from back in the day, and I think it will have some work to do again. So I'm going to dismount this front panel to achieve to reach the culprit light here and change it, and see you soon. As you can see here, this is the mechanism with the rotary button here, which is it has an enslavement with this motor, which is able to rotate this potentiometer, and it gives an automatic volume control. I'm going to show you this by connecting this amplifier. You need to be very careful because there is a high voltage here. I'm going to switch on this amplifier. You can see light coming from this part, and you can see the motorized rotary potentiometer here, which is used to increase or decrease the volume. And so if you look inside here, you can see I have already made a little hack by changing the bulb by LED ones. This is a band of LED coming from a neon, and this is actually how I repair it, because it's very hard to find the good value according to the little bulb on it. So because there is a supply with the current, if you have if you need to change a bulb, you will have always the same lighting, and it's strange to understand, because everybody thought it's more simple than that, but actually this is a current generator for just supplying this this bulb, which is not actually a bulb, but this is a LED, because I changed it. So I need to dismount this billboard here to see the good bulb to change again, because this is a LED, but it doesn't work anymore. This is actually the LED I put inside, but it doesn't work anymore. I need to change it by the original one, which is a classical bulb actually. So as you can see, I changed the last LED with a new one, because I didn't find the original bulb anymore. So as you can see, if I switch the mute, it switch on, and normally this is this muting right in here, which be lightening by this bulb. So after strangling a little bit, the LED is inside now, and you can see it switch on. The muting indicator is working. It has a nice graph display according to the volume you want. This is a motorized volume and a sensitive button. The other side of this one, you can see the copper. And here it's very dangerous. You will have the 8 voltage rail coming from the main. And if I see more closer, you can see here there is the 8 voltage diode for rectifying before you send it to the switch power supply. And here you can see to be honest, I think this is you can see reading here, Japan. I think this is a Japanese transistor, maybe something like sunken, if I'm not mistaken. I read some topics about that. This is a very nice transistor here, and this is the bias transistor, which is connected thermally with this output. Here you will have the first output, the second output here, and they are regulated, and they improved the regulation of the bias with connecting all together very near from the heating transistor. And this is the rule when you put a B class amplifier. It's to put the bias transistor very near thermally from the push-pull, which is here actually. I think this is a sunken transistor, which is actually a very nice brand. There is 1000 screw on this amp. Unbelievable. You can see on the back the input coming made for the phono, tuner, auxiliary, tape, rec out, tape 2, rec out. You can see here it's rated 100. I mean maybe on 8 ohm. That means you can have something like 50 watts RMS by speaker. Here you can see you will have 4 output. Actually, the main output are here. This is the speaker A, and you can also add speaker B, which is a 4 speaker configuration. But actually, if you connect just the speaker A, the left and right, the right and left, and you want to use the speaker B, the speaker A is connected in serial with the speaker B. This is not a parallel configuration. Also, if you want to use speaker B with the speaker L, you need to pass through the speaker A and the speaker R and the speaker right and left. So, okay, that means if you want to use 4 speakers, those one will be in parallel, in a serial with this one, and this one will be in serial with this one. So if you are connected to the in A and you put the selector in A plus B, you will not have any sound, because A plus B means then the A and B is in serial. So if you don't connect a speaker here, you will not have any current throughout those connection, which are Very nice connection indeed. It's a very nice quality connection. This is a very nice old school amplifier. This kind of device are made specially they are specially made to listen funky music, jazz music, and classic. If you want to listen some dance music, they are not made in this purpose, because amplifier to listen dance music or stuff like this are more powerful than that. This amplifier is for audiophile actually, and you can see here this one is purely made in Japan. This is a very nice device. This is the selector I was talking about actually, and if you can see, you can make off the speakers. You can choose the B speakers, the A speakers, and A plus B. If you are choosing those one, you absolutely need to connect to have all your four speaker connected in the same time. If not, you will not hear any sound. So this is a good thing to know, because you can think your amplifier doesn't work. This is Alexander again. So this is all for this evening. I tell you, see you soon.